So see, they learned it this morning. The rest of you are going, what? Okay, so it's all right. So we started with feet, and we just did it. 1, 2, 3. So it's just 3 that time. Okay, try the whole thing again. Ready? Here we go with feet. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. Very nice. Yeah. And so it'll be with a partner this time. And this time you're going to walk around the room. So get into a scatter position. You're going to walk around the room just wherever you want to go. And at the end, you're going to end up. So it's going to be, and when I feel this way, it makes me want to sing hooray. And then, good morning. And then we'll go again. Okay? Let's see. Do we have an even number or an odd number? 1, 2, 3. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, it's an even number. I'm going to go teacher. Okay. So I'm teacher out. That's right. Teacher in if it's odd, and teacher out if it's even. And the thing is, what's fun about this that we didn't do this morning is that if you end up in a place and you don't have a partner, 2 things, 2 possibilities. One is you raise your hand because this is the international sign for I don't have a partner. This is it, okay? So you can go look for somebody else, or if you're close to 2 other people, you can do this. Okay? And the kids like trying that with different combinations. So we're kind of advanced. We can do that if we want to. Okay, here we go. Get ready to walk around. Like you see. on everything I've done. So if you email me and just say, "Hi Julie, I want that song," I'll know which one it is and I'll send it to you. And that piece is by, I think it's by Randy DeLellis. It's either Randy DeLellis or Jeff Christie. I don't know which one. But I did get perpetual permission to use that piece in workshops because they're good friends of mine. So they said, yes, just use it. So it's a fun way to start. It could be, good evening. Okay, sorry, I changed keys, but good evening, I'm feeling good today. Could be that too. So you can do that. Well, this morning, how many of you were here again? Let me see. How many were here? Okay, bunches of you were here this morning. We had an introduction to Orff instruments. And I did just the beginning exploratory activities that we do with all the bars on the instruments. And we ended up with a song that was just so me and La, based on Psalm 100, and had an A section that we sang and a B section that we spoke and played with unpitched percussion instruments. So we put that together. This afternoon, we're going to learn 3 more pieces. And these are slightly more advanced. I still think first and second graders could definitely come along and learn these pieces, especially church kids, because church kids are kind of advanced. Do y'all notice that? How many of you, again, teach both school and church? Do you notice that the church kids just kind of move along pretty quickly? Because they're all kind of with the same background and experience. But anyway, so they could probably do that. I would think this session is kind of K through, or first grade through third grade-ish, but even could go to fourth grade. So we're going to do 3 pieces today. And we also learned one more thing to review. You know what? Go on to the Orff instruments and we'll review this thing. So you can all go into an instrument. And you know what? For right now, let's put the bars back. Well, no, you know what? I was going to say put the bars back on. Leave it in the chairs. Good. That's perfect. Yay! Everybody have notes? Yay. Okay, let's see if those are the rock there. Let's see if they may be. Let's see if they're softer. Yes, they're perfect. That's exactly what we need. We don't want anything. Remember, the smaller the bars, the harder the mallets. And the larger the bars, the softer the mallets. Because otherwise it must be a little too much. All right, so this morning we also learned about the simple drum. And do y'all remember what notes I said it is? Something tonic. The tonic and the dominant, and whatever your tonic key is. So this morning for us it was C and G, and that's where it's going to stay quite a bit. Now, so we did one version, which was just both bars at the same time. Did you find C and G and play those at the same time? Here we go. She's on the beat. That's the C and G. Good. And carefully. The accents. Make a joyful noise to the Lord, all the earth. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come into God's presence with singing. There we did. Enter God's gates with thanksgiving. Enter His courts with praise. Enter God's gates with thanksgiving. Enter His courts with praise. Here we go. Make a joyful noise to the Lord, all the earth. Sing on it, Jesus. The Lord with gladness. Come into God's presence with singing. And we're done. So you're going to lie down here. Yes. Another thing to know about the drum, I'm so glad you did that because now I can talk about it, is that it needs to be in root position, which means that the tonic will be the lowest note. Because, I did this morning, Claire, play the C and G there. C and G. There you go. Good, play it for us a few times. Good. And now switch it and put the C on top. You do this. Listen to that sounds. It's just not as strong. Now go back. Yeah. So see, we have that bottom note. It's just a stronger reinforcement. Okay? So that's what we've got. That's what the drum will be. All right? We also sometimes, well, I'm not talking about that just yet. There are different things we can do with this drum. So we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Would you put your bars back on, please? If your bars are off, because we're going to do something else real close. Second. Okay, they're right out here. Yeah, those are the flats and sharps. So these are
yeah, most of the extra bars are in there. We're talking about.
I know. You know, a lot of times I'm keeping them in here for no reasons. So yeah, at the end of the day, that one goes home with me and that one goes home with me. So they're already kind of set.
All right.
But yeah, sometimes they buzz a little bit, so it's better not to have them in the box from. I think it'll be fine. Geez, right here, I think. Would you do my echo, please? And you can put your mouth down for a minute. Do, re, mi, re, do. Do, re, mi, re, do. So now we're not in C because do is this note, which I said was what? G. So G is right now the do. Do, re, mi, re, do. Do, re, mi, re, do. So, mi, so, so, mi. So, mi, so, so, mi. So, mi, re, do, do. So, mi, re, do, do. And some of you probably heard me say this morning that it's nice to use G because then you can go down to low la and low so from there. Because low la, if you look at and G is do, what note is low la? E. E. And what note is low so? D. D. That's it. Good. So it's going to be do la so so so. Do la so so so. So la do re do. So la do re do. Mi re mi do do. Mi re mi do do. Good. Now we're going to set up the instruments for G pentatonic. For G pentatonic or do pentatonic on G is how we call it. So it's do is the tonal center and do is G. So we call it twice. We say do pentatonic on G. And what that means is that if do is G, what's right? A. And what's B? B. So G, A, B need to stay there. What is fa? What would be fa if we were going to use it? C. But we're not using it today. So with two hands lifting straight up, just like we talked about this morning, take off your C horns. How many do you have, Clara? How many C's? You have two. How many do you have? Yeah.
No, 3.
You've got 3. That's right. On those altos, alphons, you guys have 3. So yeah, good. And then, so if do, re, and mi are G, A, B, then what notes are so and la? D, and E, right? We already said that about low, so, and low la. And what note is T? Yeah, y'all know what it is. Y'all know that. But the kids would just say, F, okay, fine, let's take it off. Take off the F because we're not going to use T. And I'm noticing this one has a sharp. It does. Or should it? I don't know where the F is. I don't think it was F sharp this morning, though, did you?
Yeah, it was F sharp.
It was.
Okay.
That's what it was. Ooh, surprise. I didn't hear that when we were exploring. I'm surprised I didn't hear it. But there were other half steps, so it would have been fun. All right, good. So if we were going to play a piece in G, which by the way I think we are in just a little bit, we're going to play a piece in G. We've got it set up right here. But what is the drone going to be? What are the drone notes? G and D. Which G? Remember we've numbered them? G1, G1. So G1 and which D? D2. So we can keep the G as the lowest note. Okay? So play it for us, Michelle.
I don't have a D.
Oh, that's why you can't. Oh, that was mean. That sounded like me. Would you play it one time? You have to play the G and the D at the same time. That's it. Good. Everybody find your G and D, and let's just play them on a steady beat. Here we go. Beautiful. If we sang Make a Joyful Noise, it would be really hard. Make a joyful noise. I don't think we want to do that. It's so long. It's just ready and stop. So mi and la songs are not great in G, right? Mi, re, do, low, la, low, so songs are really good, and there are lots of those, and we're going to learn one in a little while. But that's one of the things we need to keep in mind, is that we're not going to sing so, mi, and la in this setting, but we can do other things. I'm going to do a few more pitches for you, and I want you to sing them back. Do, re, do, do, do. Do, re, do, do, do. Do, la, so. Do, la, so. So, la, do, do, do. So, la, do, do, do. Do, do, la. Do, do, la. La, so, la, la, la. La, so, la, la, la. La, do, same question.
What she sings, La.
What's the most important note now?
La.
La. Oh, for heaven's sake. La's never been the most important note, but now it is. Okay, teachers, this is called La pentatonic because we're not putting on any more bars. And don't get confused, Do is still G. But all we've done is say that the most important note now is E instead of G. So, let me write this a second, Claire. Thank you. So, if you play it like this. Or, okay, you see what I'm talking about? I mean, now Do can be the most important note again. But right now we're thinking in terms of La being our most important note. Would you listen to this in your head, please? It's right here. So La is here, and can you sing Do for me? There it is, good. La, do, and this actually starts on Do. Did any of you hear it in your head? Good. That's called ideation. You're listening to it inside your head, and that's ultimately what we want the children to be able to do. Okay? Do it one more time. So Do is here, and where's La? La. And where's So? So. Where's Do? Do, re, do. Good. Those are the only four notes in this melody. Starting on Do, thinking in your head to La. Here it goes. Interesting rhythm at the end. Okay? Okay? Try with me, ready on Do. Do, La, Do, re, do, la, la, la. Good job. Do, la, do, re, do, la, so, la. That's the ending. La, la, so, la is the ending. Here's how it's going to go. God made the green grass, God made the trees, God made the animals, and God made me. Okay, I'll sing it along, you sing it back. God made the green grass, God made the green grass, God made the trees, God made the trees. God made the animals, God made the animals, and God made me, and God made me. God made the green grass, God made the trees, God made the green grass, God made the trees, God made the animals, and God made me. God made the animals, and God made me. What did we say is the drone for this now? We're gonna now La is E. So what are we gonna do now? E is the most important note. E is the tonic. And what note is the dominant? If La is the B. That's right. So me, La and me are our drum for this. So on E1 and B1. And for right now, just play it like this. Here you go. God made the green grass, God made the trees, God made the animals, and God made me. Good. Now we're going to change this drum a little bit. It's still going to be a simple drum, because simple drum means that there are only two notes and they don't change. It's the tonic and the dominant of whatever key you're in. But you can change the drum. You can play both notes at the same time, or you can separate them like this. And we just call that a broken drum. It's still a simple broken drum. Okay?
And drum D-R-O-N.
D-R-O-N-E. Yep, like, a B. Lift the drum. Okay? So find the E and the B. what should be on the strong note, the strong B note? E, because it's the time. Here we go. Beautiful. Nice. Now let's sing the song together. God made the green grass, God made the trees, God made the animals, and God made me. Right here. So you also want to end on what? E, just like you did. Yeah, good job. Now could you find me? The note me. Remember where do is? Do is still G. Me is what note? Say it. B. So it's going to go like this. Mi, re, do, la. Mi, re, do, la. Can you find that? Re, do, mi, re, do, la. And what note is la? E. So it's just going straight down. It goes B, A, G, E, B, A, G, E. Here we go. Use two hands. Okay, and I'm going down for the E, so it's do, 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 do. So it's the lower E. Here we go again. To the low E. There it is. And a little bit softer. Let's sing the song. Green, God made the green grass, God made the trees, God made the animals, and God made me. So your last note will be E in this part too. Good. Can we go back and Clara, would you go back to the E? B, G, B, and also G. You can play that. Michelle, you can play the E.
Okay.
B. It's like, yes, I have those two notes. And you can also play that for tense. Yes. See, I'll play the B. I know, I'm not crazy about this instrument.
Okay. All right.
Maybe I was playing.
No, you're not. You're not. That's just how it sounds.
Okay.
Okay, here y'all go. You're gonna play that. Bum, bum, bum. Here we go. Ready? So hold on. Start on E because we're gonna get that solid foundation. Here we go again. Beautiful. And could y'all play the A, G, E part? Here we go. So y'all get the last word on that E. You get the last word. And you guys are going to be, and God made me E. That's how it goes. All right, so that's right. And there's one other part, and I got to tell you, it's for glockenspiels drills. And most children will tell you it's the good part. They love it, love it, love it. So here's what I want you to do. You're only going to play half notes. So it's going to go, here's the beat right here. This is the quarter note, right? So can y'all clap some half notes for me? Here, beautiful. Good. And I have the kids kind of show the motion that it continues. Good. Two, and stop. Well, can we sing the song while we're doing that rhythm? Here we go. God made the green grass, God made the trees, God made the animals, and God made me. Right? Now, here's what's going to happen. You can play any two bars. You can play any two bars on those half notes. So it could sound all crazy. It could just be like, God made the green grass, God made the trees, God made the animals, and God made me. I'm telling you, there's no wrong. The glockenspiels, you get to do it in a different way. Everybody else. Please pick up your E bar. Nope, sorry. Your F bar. Sorry, the big F bar. Oh, look at that. Or you know what? Better still pick the C, because that'll give you more coverage for what we're about to do. And I'll show you what you're going to do. Don't be afraid. This is not going to hurt the instrument unless we slide it. You're going to hold it sideways like this, and so you just play the half notes just like that. Okay? We're just dying to try it. Give it a shot. Yeah, it is. Okay, and y'all can just play any two bars with 2 minutes. Ready? And here we go. and you guys are still gonna play the E, B, and y'all are still gonna play B, A, G, E, B, A, G, E, and then you're all saying that's your part, and then we'll start the song. Let's layer those parts in, starting with the bass and the altos all on the top. Remember, we're breaking it. There it is. That's the medium that brings all of them together sometimes. And we're going to do something kind of drama-esque with this. What I'd like you to do is put your mallets down for just a minute, knowing that, you know what we're going to do? Let's just number off before we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Exactly. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1. But you're also going to be 2, because you're going to play. Okay. We need you. Okay? And 1, 1, and 2. Good. All right. So 1's, I know really, you said 1, 2. Okay. 1's come make a circle right here, and 2's make a circle right here.
You're saying I say.
You can come, you can circle for right now. Or you can say it. I may sit next to you for a minute. All right. So make your little circle. And for the sake of time, I mean, let's just very quickly make up a little dance to go with this. And the reason, let me just tell y'all, so you're thinking about this as teachers, the reason we have 2 circles is because in a minute, y'all are going to go play your instruments while they move, and then they're going to play the instruments while you move. So, you know what I'd like you to do? I haven't had y'all do this yet. I'd like for you guys, without my help, I'm going to monitor, but I'd like you guys to come up with movement to go with this song. God made the green grass, God made trees. Okay? Y'all figure out what you're going to do.
Trees.
Yeah.
This, but what do you want to do for the green grass?
Yes.
Oh,
and then we're going to watch each other so y'all can see what the other group is. Here we go. God made the green grass, God made the trees, God made the animals, and God made me. God made the green grass, God made the trees, God made the animals, and God made me. Good. Okay, let's watch this group. So you guys need to watch. instruments real quickly. While y'all do your dance, we'll sing the song twice, and then we'll switch. And you know what we can do to connect it and also to save time with the kids? It's just, you know, those transitions are the hard part, right? So what we can do is, at the end, we'll stop. But then Claire's going to start again. And she's, you remember I said yesterday we vamp a lot in virtual work? So Claire's going to start again, and she's just going to play the beat while y'all move to the instruments and you guys move up here. And if we have this group come this way and that group go that way, we'll have a flow that works. We do that kind of thing in programs too, so that there's a flow. Here we go, starting with the drum. So y'all can just get ready. God made the green grass, God made the trees, God made the animals, and God made me. God made the green grass, God made the trees, God made the animals, and God made me. So start with something. So we have an ending. That's when you'll know to move. And it starts again. And there's no hurry. There's no hurry. We're not going to start without checking. I always tell the kids, you know, we're not we're slowly, we're not quickly. We'll just go with the get-go. God made the green grass, God made the trees, God made the animals, and God made me. God made the green grass, God made the trees, God made the animals, and God made me. Nice. Good job. So it's really simple, right? Very, very simple. But the children really like this. And doesn't it sound charming? It sounds so pretty. And they love that. You know, they do. What scripture, what Bible story could we use alongside this? Creation story. Creation story. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And there we go. We can use that. We can also make a connection with all the animals. Noah's Ark. Yep, and that's actually what's coming next. So we can do some things with Noah's Ark. You can stay right there where you are with your instruments, and I'm going to teach you another version of Who Built the Ark that might be the one you know, or it might be a little bit different. This will give me a G. See how that's what we started a minute ago? And be my echo, please. Do, re, mi, re, do. Do, re, mi, re, do. Do, la, so. Do, la, so. So, la, do, do, do. So, la, do, do, do. Mi, mi, re, re, do, do. Mi, mi, re, re, with me? He built it long, both wide and tall. Plenty of room for the large and small. Ready? Plenty of room for the large and small. Don't Noah build the ark? What can we do for that just to remember it? Okay? Now didn't Noah build the ark? Built it out of hickory bark. He built it long, wide and tall. Plenty of room for the large and small. Who built the ark? Noah, Noah. Who built the ark? Brother Noah built the ark. One more time. Who built the ark? Noah, Noah. Who built the ark? Brother Noah built the ark. I usually sing that part twice, and I just noticed I didn't write a repeat on it, but I like it twice. It feels complete because the B section is twice as long as the refrain, so we'll sing the refrain twice. Can we do this song in A, B, A form? So we're going to sing Who Built the Ark, and then we're going to sing the verse, and then we're going to sing Who Built the Ark again. Now, do y'all know other verses for this song?
Used to.
Because I do. I mean, one of them is, and then in came the animals, 2 by 2, great big cats and kangaroos. Then out came the animals. Does it say 3 by 3? Yeah,
Oh.
busy on that.
Yeah.
3, and that's what God intended. 3 by 3. Chimpanzees at the end, yep. Something deer and chimpanzees. If you Google it, you'll find other verses. There are several of them. And you can have a small group sing verse 1 and another small group sing verse 2, and everybody comes in on the refrain. So they like to do that. They enjoy it. Okay, let's see it in ABF form. Here we go. Who built the ark? Noah, Noah. Who built the ark? Brother Noah built the ark. Who built the ark? Noah, Noah. Who built the ark? Brother Noah built the ark. Now didn't Noah build the ark? Built it out of hickory bark. He built it long, wide and tall. Plenty of room for the large and small. And who built the ark? Noah, Noah. Who built the ark? Brother Noah built the ark. Who built the ark? You got it. Noah, Noah. Who built the ark? Brother Noah built the ark. Okay, we'll return on note at the end if we want to. All right, it's similar to what you did just a few minutes ago because it's also going to be a broken drum. Now what notes are we going to play? C, G. Well, take a look at your bars.
I don't have those, do I?
Yeah, because we started on what note? Ooh,
G and D.
so it'll be G and D. It'll be the drum we first talked about when we set up the instruments. This will be that one. So find G1 and D2. And we play G, D. So G1 and D2, G. Now, so it's that second. So it's that G right there and that D. That's it. Okay. So let's play that. Okay. Do you have it, Hortensia? G1.
G1,
The first G and the D2. That's it. Good. All right. So one more thing. We've got G.
G
On the bottom, note that G right there.
This G.
This is the first G, yep, and then D, this is
Okay.
the second D. So here's D1, there's D2. And those little marks mean nothing for us. Okay, so it's G and D, right?
Okay.
Got it? All right, so here we
Those
go.
little marks don't mean 1 and 2?
The marks refer to the octaves as they are on the piano, but universally, we call the very first one, like C1, and the second one is C2.
Okay.
And for you guys, there's a third one that's C3.
Yeah.
So we just say that so that all the kids are on the same page. Otherwise, I'd have to say, okay, y'all find your C1, and you find your C2, and you find your C3, and we've got it. Plus, not all the brands have those marks.
Okay.
Just some are does. Now, Studio 49 doesn't have those, does it? Nope, they're just bars. So we just say C1, C2, and now it's G1, because it's the first G you have, and then D2, it's the higher D that you have. That's it. So it's in root position with do on the bottom. So it's strong. Okay, here we go. Ready? Just sing the first part. Who built the ark? Noah, Noah. Who built the ark? Brother Noah built the ark. Good. Here we go. Y'all start with this song. Who built the ark? Noah, Noah. Who built the ark? Brother Noah built the ark. Good. So when we do it twice, you'll keep going, but at the same time we'll stop. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So it'll be this. I'm going to write it with Jane. Take it. So it'll be, who built the ark? Noah, Noah. Who built the ark? Mother Noah built the ark. First time. Built the ark. Noah, Noah. Who built the ark? Mother Noah built the ark. The end. So at the very, very end, we'll just have it. You know what? Let's do it twice, because that's what we're used to anyway. So let's start with the drum again. Here you go. Who built the ark? Noah, Noah. Who built the ark? Brother Noah built the ark. Who built the ark? Noah, Noah. Who built the ark? Brother Noah built the ark. And y'all get the last part. Good. So you guys are going to stop on Brother Noah built the ark. And they get to play that last D. That's how it works. Good. There's one other part, and it just goes like this. You got it? Let's put this on. Who built the ark? No. Oh, you were right, ready? Who built the ark? Noah, Noah. Who built the ark? Brother Noah built the ark. Who built the ark? Noah, Noah. Who built the ark? Brother Noah built the ark. You can play it again at the end, to the very, very end. Now, what's neat is, I know you're like, yeah, I can't do that. You should do it. Keep trying, we'll be able to do it. And the thing is, you're thinking, oh, my kids couldn't do that. No, right now they probably couldn't. But you know what? If you start in kindergarten with them keeping the beat while they sing the song, playing a broken drone while they sing the song, and then eventually playing half notes with quarter notes pattern while they sing the song, and then they can do something with eighth notes while they sing the song. So, who built the ark? Noah, Noah. Who built the ark? Brother Noah built the ark. Who built the ark? Noah, Noah. Who built the ark? Brother Noah. I thought you couldn't do it. You just did it. It was perfect.
Oh, yeah,
You
no,
know
I
what?
got it.
You got it.
Yeah, that's kinda
And
tricky.
you know what?
Yeah.
Since you got it, would you play that on tambourine?
Sure.
And I think they took our other tambourines away. They took the other tambourines. I know. Is there one back there? What's wrapped? Yeah. Oh, no, that is better. That's much better. Because we can hold that one flat and play it. Can we get one other person to play this? So we'll have two. Well, I mean, you can, but somebody's got to play that bass. Okay, Judy's gonna play. All right, here we go. You could play. I bet I need you.
can't do
You're
both.
too
I know, I
important.
need to.
Okay, so let's put those parts together. Y'all are gonna go back to playing the G's. Bum, bum, G, D. Yep, they're playing the G's. You're playing the G and D. Yeah, G, D. And that's what you do. Three. Okay, let's start with you guys. Here we go. Well, let's go ahead and have it. Yeah, very nice. Now in the B section, we're gonna have a little bit different part. And it's not tons of different stuff, but I would like to have a triangle for the B section. So we have two triangles. Let's get a couple of people from your Orff instrument who will play triangle. And I'm gonna grab a chair. You need to sit down for a minute. Okay, so, and a couple of you, let's get in your car. Thank you. We don't wanna lose any more glockenspiels though. We're gonna use you guys. That's okay. No, you can play. And then,
I can.
okay, good. Got it. So we've got our two triangleists.
What do you want us to do?
Okay, I'm gonna go for that in just 1 second. All right, so here's what's gonna happen on the B section. We're still gonna do a drone, but it's another kind. It's another kind of simple drone. What have we had so far? What do we call it? We play both at the same time. Did I tell you that? I don't know. It's in the notes from this morning, but I may not have said it. For lack of a better term, we call that a chord drone because both notes are playing at the same time. I'm just checking the clock here. Because both are at the same time. So a chord really is 3 notes. That would be like, do, mi, so at the same time. But we don't have a better term, so we just call it a chord drone. And what do we call this kind? Broken. And now we're going to play one that's called level. And it's still a simple drum. So you can just call it a simple level drum. And what that means is that it's going to be a chord, so you play both at once, but it's going to be divided between 2 instruments. And the instruments we're going to divide it between are Clara and Hortensia's instruments. And it's going to go like this. Clara, you're going to play G and D. And then Hortensia, you're going to play G and D after her 2 times. Watch how the rhythm goes. It goes like this. So which part do you think is Clara? There it is. And here's Hortensia. Clara goes once.
Both of them
Hortensia
same
goes
time.
twice. Nope. Yes, both G and D.
Yeah, that's
So you'll
what I
play
meant.
G and D.
Yeah, right,
And
okay.
Hortensia plays them.
Okay.
Are you ready? Here we go. Lovely. Now Dindle Noah build the ark, built it out of a hickory bark. He built it long, both wide and tall, plenty of room for the large and small. Now what happens? You go back, right? Who built the ark? So you go right back to that. Okay, and triangles are thinking, but what's my part? But what's my part? And tambourines are thinking, what's mine? Well, tambourines, your part is going to be to sing for this part. And everybody else, your part is to sing. Triangles, you have a part. So who are our triangle players? Adrienne, right? Adrienne, okay. Adrienne and Michelle are the 2 triangle players. And it's going to go like this out the look. It's going to be sort of like the glockenspiel part at the beginning, but spread out a little bit longer. So it goes like this. Now Dindle Noah build the ark, built it out of a hickory bark. Long, both wide and tall, plenty of room for the large and small. Ding. Okay. And at the end you'll just play ding. Yes. Hey, let's hear that with these 4 people playing, and everybody else will sing. Here we go, ready? Now Dindle Noah. Okay, we're on here. This part. Dindle Noah.
Okay, all right.
Build the ark. Good. So this is the verse. Here we go, ready? Now Dindle Noah build the ark. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, so it's like this. It's like this. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, down. Oh, down, down, down. It's very long. You're only going to play it 4 times. Down, down, down. Da, da, da. Then 1 time. Who built? And then get back to your other instrument as soon as you can. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Ready? Everybody else sing for us. Here we go. Now Dindle Noah built the ark, built it out of hickory bark. He built it long, both wide and tall, plenty of room for the large and small. Who built the ark? Noah, Noah. Who built the ark? Father Noah built the ark. Who built the ark? Noah, Noah. Who built the ark? Noah built the ark. Okay, good, that was it. So just ta, ta, ti, ti, ta, ta. I can write it on the board. I mean, that was a long time in between for you to do that. It was a long, long time. All right, so can we put the whole thing together? Let's do A, B, and then A again. The only thing is I'd like to have an introduction. And we do not have a wood block, so we're going to have to do something else, like hit the side of the instrument. So it's going to be like this. It's going to go, listen to the words for a second. It's going to go, who built the ark? Noah, Noah. Who built the ark? Noah did. Can y'all say that with me? So say it with them, Tina, if you would. Okay, so y'all are, who built the ark? Noah. Who built the ark? Noah did.
Who built the ark? Noah. Who built the ark? Noah did.
Good. This time, where are our triangles? Good. So you know what you guys can do is just tap the rhythm on the ball, on the wood, or something. Let me show you, Claire. Yeah, I like that idea. So it could be something like, I love that. And it's going to be no. Good. All right. So can we have that? Let's have that as our introduction. Ready? Here we go. Now y'all have no idea to get ready for this. Okay? So we'll have that as a little intro too before we start singing. That way we have the pitches ready. I think we should do that for not only the introduction but also the coda. But I think it would be fun at the beginning to speak it, and then at the end to play it. So we'll have as our introduction, who built the ark?
Noah.
Which means you've got to say it really, really expressively and interestingly. Okay? And you know what? There has been some research that says if children learn to speak expressively, they will sing more expressively. Can you believe that? Well, it makes sense, really, doesn't it? So anytime you're speaking poetry or psalms or anything from the Bible, say it expressively and dramatically, because it deserves it. It deserves that. It deserves to be said in a really exciting way. So anyway, we're going to start at the beginning and say, who built the ark? Yes. No, just till we we'll start. So we'll say the speaking first. Okay, go ahead.
Who built the ark? Noah. Who built the ark? Noah did.
Now this is the introduction. Good. This is our dress rehearsal. So that's what comes next. And then we'll sing A, and then we'll sing B, where you go to this part, that part right there. And then we'll come back and sing A one more time, and then at the end, you're just, instead of speaking it, we're just going to play it. Okay. Ding, 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 ding. That'll be our play. Okay. And hopefully our audience is thinking those words when they hear the rhythm. They probably are. Yeah. Okay, ready? One more time. This is
Who built the ark? Noah. Who built the ark? Noah did.
This is the separated. Okay, we're taking that from B section. Oh. G, D, G, D, G. There you go, yeah. Here we go.
Who built the ark? Noah. Who built the ark? Noah built the ark. Who built the ark? Noah. Who built the ark? Noah built the ark. Noah built the ark. Built it out of hickory bark. He built it long, both wide and tall. Plenty of room for the large and small. Who built the ark? Noah. Who built the ark? Noah built the ark. Who built the ark? Noah. Who built the ark? Noah built the ark.
Yay! Good job, you guys. All right, so how long does that take to put together? And you know what? I mean, I've been saying this, and I want y'all to understand, this is more complicated than it has to be. You know what it could be? Is everybody just plays the broken drum and the level drum. Listen how pretty this is. If Clara and Hortensia and also Michelle and Judy play the G and D for the level, and y'all play the two up here, listen how pretty it sounds. It'll go like this. So it'll be both, two. So remember, just the broken, just the level thing we were doing a while ago. So it'll be this, and then this one. So but this time, the lower part is going to be all four of you, because that way we have the octave change. So listen how it sounds. Ready?
Over to the
Top. That's it. So it'll be, now ding dong Noah built the ark, built it on a hickory bark. He built it long, both wide and tall, plenty of room for the large and small. And then everybody just go back to the broken drone on G and D. Here you go. Who built the ark? Noah, Noah. Who built the ark? Noah built the ark. And so you can stop right there. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
That sounds fine. That's just as pretty as it can be. And that way everybody's playing the same thing the whole time. But it's interesting because we've got a lot of different octaves going. So it's interesting. You can simplify that. You do not have to do the triangle part. You do not have to do the tambourine part. Add those as the kids are ready and simplify as much as you want to. Carl Orff and Gunhild Caitlin, I haven't talked about her very much, but she was the co-worker with Carl Orff. And Gunhild is just G-U-N-I-L-D, and her last name is Keitman, but in German it's pronounced Caitlin, so everybody says Caitlin. But she was really the pedagogue. And when you see the books, I'll show you at the break, I'll grab the book. But if you see the books, it says Carl Orff, Gunhild Caitlin, Orff Schulberg. Because she gets credit right alongside him. She was very humble and quiet, and so she never really asked for credit. And Carl Orff was the big composer who everybody knew his name, and he wrote Carmen Burana. And so everybody knew who he was, and so he got all the credit. And he was always giving her credit, but it just didn't stick somehow. But there is a fun story that one time they were playing some pieces from Carl Orff's Schulberg, Caitlin's Schulberg, and she was in the audience, and they announced this piece as a piece by Carl Orff, and evidently she turned to the person next to her and said, actually, I wrote that one. But she was okay with it. So we don't know for sure who wrote which one in those books because they didn't say. It's just everybody. But this, I just made up an arrangement to go with it, and you guys can change it and mold it however you want so that it works with your kids. All right, so we've worked with drones this afternoon, and there's still one more piece in the notes, and I'm going to decide right now and during this break whether we're going to go on and learn that one too, or whether we're going to go on just learn the last three that are in the other section. So I'm going to take a look at that. But drones, what's this one called? You can play it on quarter notes, or you can play it on half notes. That's the chord, a simple chord drone. And this one is a simple broken drone. And this one, where we have two groups, is a simple level drone. You know what else we have? Arpeggiated. And it's really kind of nice. So and you can use any of these drones with this piece. So now that's going up to the high G. It always starts on the low G on the strong G. So it would be, now did old Noah build the ark, built it on a hickory bark. You asked if you could come back through. Yes, you can. I just think it sounds busy. I mean, if you did it, old Noah built the ark, built it on a hickory bark. For some reason, it's also really hard for kids to not have that rest in there. And plus they have to learn, you keep that hand on the D the whole time, and it's tricky for that to move. But yes, you can. So those are the 4 versions of the simple drum. And we're going to do